Alright, so we're doing something a little bit different today. What are we doing?
I don't know. You told me to get down on the dock. Your first attempt at an interview for your blog.
Yep, we're doing an interview today.
And I'll try to be serious.
Alright, so want to start off. This is my uncle. His name's Sean.
Yep. Cheers.
Cheers.
This is actually ginger ale, not Bud Light.
It's just in the Bud Light glass, but you know, yeah. This is our lake,
This is our pond, yeah.
or whatever you want to call it. It's enjoyable. You got the sun over there,
It's absolutely beautiful today, man. I'm telling you.
especially with the blue sky. So I just want to start off with my Uncle Sean. He has a YouTube channel. What's your YouTube channel?
My YouTube channel is Stringman6. Or you can
Stringman
look up
6.
Stay Tuned Radio too. But if you want, youtube.com/Stringman6, it would get you there.
And if you just can't find them, just look up Stay Tuned Radio.
Yeah, just search Stay Tuned Radio. There's hundreds of videos on there.
Yep, hundreds and hundreds. Yeah. And how many subscribers do you have?
A little over 1,000, I think. Maybe, I don't know if I have 1,100 yet, but a little over 1,000, not bad.
Not.
I'm not
Someone just moved over there.
Roman Atwood by any stretch of the imagination, but
Close enough. Well, anyways, I'm
I
starting.
had over 1 million views so far on the videos I've posted.
This
so.
is my vlog channel, which is progressing through the days, weeks, months.
Yeah, you've been doing good so far. You've edited 2 videos. Or 3. You did the music video,
Yeah, I did the Tom Dixon,
which you did a fantastic job.
which you guys should go check that out if you haven't yet.
Yeah, and for the people at home, he used Premiere Pro, which is a pretty advanced program, and he picked it up pretty well, considering. I mean, he's got a lot to learn, obviously, but you picked it up really fast. I was very impressed.
Thanks. And I tried.
That's all you gotta do is try.
Yep.
That's
Alright,
all we
so
ask.
I just want to ask you, what made you want to start a YouTube channel? Like, what brought on the idea?
Well, what brought on the idea was started my radio show back 13 years ago or so.
Wow.
And I decided I would film my guests. I used to interview musicians. So I said, well, maybe I'll film my guests just to keep it as a library, something that I could keep and remember. And then once I filmed a few, and then I would post them on YouTube, and that's how it took off. And then gradually the equipment I used to film got better, and I added multiple cameras, and had a better editing system. Yeah, just got bigger and bigger and better, and I kind of like the way the videos came out now. So.
Yeah, I've looked at them and they look pretty good, actually. When did you first start editing?
Right then, when I needed to, it was a necessity. I had to figure out how to do it, and generally, when you need something, the universe will give it to you. So, a friend of mine at that time had the Adobe Premiere Pro. Actually, no, I started with Pinnacle. It was a Pinnacle editing system. I started with that, and that was definitely not as advanced, but it worked pretty well. And then I moved up to Adobe.
Wow.
So yeah, I needed it done. I needed to do it, and I did it. So
Oh, that's good.
pretty much taught myself.
When was your first show? Like, what was it? Like,
My first.
your first ever being on TV or
Back
on camera at all?
even before I started my radio show, I had I used to be the executive director of a nonprofit music venue. And I met a lot of musicians that way, and I lived up in Kennebunk at the time. So I approached the local cable company to see if they wanted. I thought my original idea was I'd film an artist doing one song or 2 songs, and then they could air that one song on the cable news network or whatever it was, the cable community television station. And they said, no, we don't want to do that, but could you put together a whole show? So I said, well, probably, I don't know, maybe we'll try it. So they said, can you do it? And I was like, all right, sure, why not? So that's how I did it. And the format of the program was interviews. I would interview musicians and they'd perform. And, you know, I took my lead from Charlie Rose, who I think is one of the best interviewers out there. And one of the most simplistic. He's a great interviewer, but it's a very simplistic show. And I said that's how I wanted my model to be. That's what I did.
Well, speaking of Kennebunk, where did you live when you were in Kennebunk?
Where did I live when I was in Kennebunk?
Yeah. Did you live there?
Yeah, I lived in Kennebunk.
Like, did you live in an apartment or
I lived in an apartment. Sure.
house?
We got a house. We just bought a house here. And this is the first house I've ever owned. I've always lived in apartments.
Yeah, this place is awesome.
Yeah, it is.
I love it here.
This is our backyard. Nice.
We got the sunrise every morning, you know, trees.
This is the sunset.
Yep. Alright, so when, like, or what was your first car? Your
My
first?
first car
Yep.
was, I believe it was a 1979 Malibu. And my mother had it in Iran, but then it died, and I turned 16 or 17 and was getting my license. And she said, you can have the car if you want it. But it didn't run, and I didn't know how to fix it, so I ended up selling it to my friend for $500, and he fixed that thing up. It became the most awesome muscle car I ever saw. He did such a good job, and I was so jealous after that, envious. And so that was my first car, and I never got to drive it. Someone else did. Made it a chick magnet.
Oh, I don't know if I would say it's your car then.
Yeah, I guess it wasn't. It was mine until I sold it. But. And then I don't know what my first car was that I bought.
Or drove.
I drove. I think the first car I ever drove was. They used to call them K cars back then. I don't know. It was a K car, whatever. And then a Pinto. I had a Pinto. My girlfriend had a Pinto, and I drove that too.
Isn't that a really small car?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, what's your dream career?
My dream career.
Yeah.
I'm past dreaming about a career. My dream vocation is to just be happy, you know, and be able to make enough money to, pay the bills and live a decent life without worrying too much, you know. Haven't achieved that yet. We're working on it.
Instead, we're on the dock.
I like helping people, you know. I like serving people. I like, and I love music, you know. I just want to make money doing something that I love to do, you know, that something that makes me happy and that makes other people happy, if I can.
Alright. How old were you when you got your first apartment?
18.
18.
Moved out of my house, I think my 18th birthday was in February. The very next day I moved out. I said, I am out of here.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Moved out with my girlfriend at the time.
And then another question that the viewers want is,
The viewers want this.
yeah, it's important now. Alright. What do you use for your beard?
My beard care, it's kind of a closely guarded secret. I don't tell just much anyone. But actually, I just started to have a beard. I had a beard years and years ago when I had hair. When I decided to shave my head, I still had a beard, but I thought I looked stupid with a bald head. So I said, no. So then I went with a goatee. I thought that looked good, and I kept that for a long time. But just recently, within the past year, I decided to grow the beard out and see.
Aren't you doing it for Santa this
Well,
Christmas?
I was Santa last year, and I grew it out at the end of the year, just a little bit, and it worked really well. And obviously it comes in white, so that helps. And I love playing Santa. But as far as beard care goes, I've got a beard wash, which sounds crazy, but it's actually a beard wash. And then I have this beard wax. And I found that with the whole beard now, which is weird, if I don't use like certain soaps, it starts to hurt my face. It feels like it's weird. It's like little needles sticking in my face.
Really?
And I don't know if it's because the white hair is a little coarser. it's a little more brillowy, maybe. I'm not sure. It's not as soft. It's not as soft and silky. I mean, it is now because it's beautiful. But
Oh, all right. When you were a teenager or kid, did you do any sports?
I swam. I was on the swim team for a long time. I had severe asthma as a child, and I still have asthma, but not as severe now. And the doctors recommended that I join the swim team to help my lungs. So I did that for years and years. I hated it because they made me do it. I hate anything that people make me do. So that's why I'm not a good employee, I guess. But anyway, so I did that. And I played soccer a little bit as a kid. I played baseball too. As a real young kid, I played baseball a lot.
What was your first job?
My first job was at Siegel's Department Store in Dover on the Miracle Mile. It was a department store. Let's see, what's there now? Well, right now, for the people at home, I don't know if you know Dover, but it was called the Miracle Mile. Right now it's Shaw's, and they got the malls, where those malls are, where Friendlies are. Siegel's used to be right there where Shaw's is.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and so that's where I worked my very first job. I think I was 16.
Wow. I'm not sure if I already
Well, my
asked
very
this.
first job was paper route, which I had.
Oh yeah,
before.
you told me about that when you rode your bike around.
Yeah, I would ride my bike a little bit, but mostly I would just walk my route. And then Saturdays we'd take the bike down to Foster's and give our money and whatever. I did that for a few years. It was fun.
Oh, alright. Not sure if I asked this already, but who was your first live guest?
My first live guest. My first live guest on my television show in Kennebunk when I started that was a guy named Craig Worth.
Tell me about Craig.
Craig is one of the finest human beings on the planet. I love the guy like crazy. He's an awesome musician, great songwriter, funny, and yeah, I've sort of watched him. I can't really say I've watched him grow because he was already quite mature as a performer when I first met him. But he was the first. What do you see?
There's a fish right on the dock. I don't know if you can see that. It's at the edge.
Distraction.
It's a little
I
baby
can see
fish,
it. That's cool though.
right?
Yeah, so Craig Worth, he's amazing. Look him up. I think it's craigworth.net. Look him up. He's actually he's a pastor now. And I emailed him and asked him to come up and bless our house. So I'm thinking about doing like a house concert type thing, having him up. He can perform some music.
Sounds
He's wicked
good to
funny.
me.
And he writes great stuff, like I said. But yeah, that was him.
So, you said you have a YouTube channel, and I was wondering, is content on your YouTube gonna stay the same, or are you gonna upload more, or are you gonna change it at all?
I'm in between gigs, I guess you call it. I did my radio show for a long time. I did my first television show, did my radio show, and then I had to quit over, I had an ethical dilemma with how it was being run, so I quit, even though it was heartbreaking to do that. So I think here, when we moved here, we just moved here too, I expect inspiration to strike. And I know that now that you're here working with me and living with me, I think that energy, I think will create something really cool. So I don't know. I imagine I'll always keep that music channel. I hope I do anyway. But maybe I'll create something different. Oh yeah, there he is. That's a little fish.
Yeah, you see it? A baby fish on the little part of the dock.
It's like, a couple of 200-pounders sitting on this dock here.
It's a little swimming pool for him.
Yeah, right. We're bending it.
What's your favorite type of music?
Music. My favorite type of music is whatever the mood is. I have, however I'm feeling. If I'm dealing with stuff, if I'm happy, if I'm sad, if I'm angry. It's different music for each emotion, really. Music is so emotional to me. that I listen to different stuff. But as a general question, now it's classic rock. I love classic rock. I love folk music. I like singer-songwriters, like, James Taylor and things like that. And I know a ton of singer-songwriters that aren't famous, but, I like stuff like that, acoustic-based stuff. I like the blues. I
like
good,
blues too.
I love good screaming guitar. I'm a big guitar fan. Well, some of my favorite concerts have been guitar players, and I've seen most of them, most of the greats.
What made you usually daily you're such a happy and positive person? What's your inspiration to be such a
To be so happy, I get
Yeah.
up and I chew glass, and I stab the fish. Go out. Now,
what?
my inspiration, I don't know, actually, I feel it's grace. I just feel like I try to be a happy person. I just try to appreciate the gifts that I've been given. Life has been good. I've been lucky and blessed, and why not be happy? You have a choice in this world. You can either be happy or you can be miserable. You can think
Yeah,
everyone's
sure.
out to get you. And believe me, I've been in both places. I've been in the negative side where, I dislike a lot of people and I think they're all jerks or whatever. And now I'm in this place where I love everyone for the most part.
What's your favorite motto?
My favorite motto:
Yeah.
never trust a prophet in a party dress.
What?
That was a line in the Elvis Paul song. I always thought that was a great line. Never trust a prophet in a party dress.
What about we don't skinny dip, we chunky dunk?
Yeah, that's right. I'd say a good motto. I don't know. Just be grateful. Try to be grateful for the day because you don't have another one. This is it.
True.
And this is as late as it's ever been. That's another good phrase I like to use because this is as late as it's ever been. It's never been this late.
Nope. Well, I said we don't skinny dip, we chunky dunk. Where did we get that?
Where did we find that phrase?
Yeah.
It was kind of a weird thing. We went to Walker Stalker and we stopped at this restaurant. They had it on the wall. Just thought it was a funny little saying. I never heard it before. And then we were at wherever we were at this yard sale or something, and we saw a little plaque that said same thing. So we grabbed it. We're gonna hang it on the dock somewhere. I don't know where we're gonna put it, but we just grabbed that. That was funny.
Yeah, that was funny. I couldn't believe what I saw. I was like,
Right.
what?
Yeah, you found it. That was good eyes.
Yeah, that was crazy. What's your favorite type of season?
I love every season except the dead of winter. Yeah, I hate it when it's wicked cold.
Yeah, me too.
It's the cold. I don't like the cold. But I like leading up to the cold. I like it when it gets cool, but I don't like it when when it gets down to below zero. I could do without that.
Yeah, me too.
But I
If-
love the fall. I love the spring.
I like summer.
And I love the summer too, it's just, any day I go outside and go. I love motorcycle season, when it's warm and you can get out and on the bike. I love
Yeah,
that.
sure.
And I love the fall. I love the colors. I can't wait to see this in the fall, what this is going to be like, with the trees changing. And then in the winter too, this is going to be cool. I don't know if, there'll be ice skating down here or this is our first time, so.
That's true. See how deep the ice is?
Should be good. Let's see. I don't know.
If you could live anywhere besides here, where would you live?
If I could live anywhere besides here,
Yeah. Yeah.
the moon.
What?
The moon.
No, I mean, not Earth. I meant here. This location. The moon, the moon, the moon.
I'd like to live in Montana.
Montana?
Even though I say I hate the cold, the winters out in Montana would stink. Or Alaska too. That's another place. I'm like saying all these cold places. But I'd like to live at those places in the warmest part of the year, you know. And when it gets cold, I like to go to the warm places, like, yeah.
Bahamas.
Yeah, I don't know. I like island life. I definitely like island life.
Have you ever been on the island?
Have I ever been on an island?
Yeah.
Not a tropical island.
Yeah, that's what I was talking
No,
about.
no,
Like Hawaii or...
no, I wish. I used to have a cousin that lived in Hawaii.
Have you ever had an experience with a wild animal?
A wild animal.
Yeah, because, you know, we're in the woods now, so, you know, just wondering.
So,
Because, you know, if something attacks me, I might need your help.
yeah, well, my advice for you is to get in shape, because if you ever do run into a wild animal, the person that runs the fastest lives.
Guess who's running? I'll run across water.
I don't think so. I mean, I've seen wild animals, but I've never really had an incident.
Fish just splashed over there.
I did have a rabid raccoon once
What?
walk up to my truck. I
Oh,
parked.
rabid.
Yeah, rabid. He
Thought you
walked
said
up to the
rabbit.
truck
I was
and
like,
tried
what?
to get in, and he was all kind of like, that was pretty. I was like, oh boy, shut down. And he just stayed there, kind of like knocking on the door. It's like, hey, open up, I kind of want to bite. Yeah,
Was he smoking a cigar too?
he was smoking a cigar. Hey, Rocky, what's happening? No, that was the only sort of wild animal I've ever seen.
Wow.
I mean, that I've ever had an incident with.
What's your favorite movie?
My favorite movie. I like some of my. I like really dark movies, and I like really happy movies. You know, like It's a Wonderful Life. That's kind of cliche, but I like It's a Wonderful Life. The Green Mile, I really liked. But I also like Seven, the movie Seven. Have you ever seen that?
No.
Awesome. Fight Club, love that one too. Leaving Las Vegas. You know, those are pretty dark movies. You know, I like anything with anything that can make you feel, either feel really happy, feel sad, or whatever. Something that brings up that emotion. You know, and I love good acting. I love when someone can, you know, they're so good at their craft they don't believe that they're an actor. You can feel it. You know, there's a lot of good movies out there. I used to go to the movie theater all the time. I just don't go anymore. I do watch better.
Well, you know, we might have to make a trip there soon.
Alright. So, I wanted to see The Dark Tower. I haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, I want to see that too.
I'm a big Stephen King
I want to
fan.
see 47 Meters Deep.
I want to see that too.
Since we haven't seen that, that'd be a nice, good
We
movie.
should. Yep.
Should go rent that.
We should actually. Should find a red book. What is it called?
Red book.
Red book.
Red box.
Red box. I never rent from Red Box, I guess.
Yeah, because no one
Good
calls it
movie.
Red book.
No one calls it Red Book. I do.
Well, this is the end of the interview. It was nice getting to know you, talk to you.
Well, I think this is good. Is this your first interview?
Yeah.
Alright, you did very well. I thought it was good questions. Well, you've seen me interview musicians on the
Yeah.
radio show, so that's good. Yeah, you did really well. Appreciate you asking me. Hopefully this video comes out. Hopefully I don't look stupid. Make me look good. Put that good filter on that.
Yeah.
Pretty filter.
Okay.
Yeah. Gives me that. Gives my beard the glow. I want my beard.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Well, this was the Sean Henderson, my uncle, interview. I'll leave his description to his YouTube channel and the link to
Put a link
his
to the
YouTube channel in the description.
There you go. Make sure you like it. Thumbs up. Do all that other good stuff. Like Rob Dog, the original.
The
Rob Dog.
original Rob Dog. Or not the, it's
Not the,
just original.
Just original. You don't even need the. You're so original, you don't need the. It's like Smokey the Bear. It's not Smokey the Bear. It's just Smokey Bear. Your original Rob Dog.
Alright, we're
Peace.
getting a hand here. We're gonna get into a deep conversation about Rob Dog.
All right.
Original Rob Dog. It's not the, it's original. Alright, well, we'll catch you guys later.
Right on. Peace.
Stay roughin'. That's
What is it?
Roughin'.
Stay rough.
That's a new one. I haven't used that yet.
All right. Maybe we should rethink that.
Alright. Alright. Peace.